Hello everyone, welcome to the second part of my tutorial. So let's start with the settings. Alright, network. As you can see, I've disabled the first network adapter, which was NAT. I left only the bridged adapter, which is gonna be our main network adapter from now on. Unfortunately, the problem with this bridged adapter, at least in my case, because I'm running a VirtualBox, well, every time I'm connecting to the internet, because I don't have right now steady internet, I'm connecting by the phone, my gateway changes. So basically every time I need to change my gateway if I want to do anything on Debian, because the gateway changes. So in network configuration I have to change it. Well, of course it's gonna be different in your case, but well, that's my case. Okay, so let's start with sudo nano etc sudoers. Okay, so as you can see here, I've added this line. It's like yeah, this one. What it does, well, actually you don't need to put the sudo password anymore, because I included the sudo group here, because above you have a user and here you have a group. So thanks to that, you don't need to put the password anymore. You just enter sudo and whatever kind of command you want, and it goes. Pretty handy, I think. You don't need to type in the password, or even if you sometimes type it incorrectly, then again type it. So okay, let's check if it actually works. Oh, so, or maybe we're gonna just go to, I'm gonna show you the network interfaces. So there you go. It's sudo nano etc network interfaces. So I prepared this interface. It's a static interface, of course. Above, as you can see, there's a ENP0S3. The one was DHCP, so it was the one that I showed you in the beginning of this video that is disabled. That's why it's commented, and this is our basic static interface that we are gonna use. Where I got the address, net mask, and gateway? Well, you can check that up if you actually change the static to DHCP. So if you actually comment all of those, like address, netmask, gateway, DNS name server, which I'm gonna show you in a moment, I'm just gonna comment them out, because I had to know what kind of IP address actually my internet provider will give me when I'm connected by DHCP. So I changed that to DHCP. Now we need to, of course, restart the service, the main service, networking service, and then the resolve-conf service. So sudo systemctl restart networking, and then restart resolve-conf. Yeah. Now we're gonna need to probably bring up the interface. So if up enp0s8 sudo, of course, and there you go. I got the IP address from the DHCP, and it's 192.168.43.16. So yeah, that's how you can actually check what kind of address is available for you at the moment, and then you can put it on the static network like I did. So let's go back to our interfaces. So I know what my IP address is. I know what my netmask is. How do you check your gateway? Well, you can check your gateway just by using command prompt. You just open your command prompt on your PC and then do ipconfig/all, and you're gonna have everything there like your gateway, your DNS server. So I found out this way. So this is my gateway. Below you have the DNS name servers. Well, my name server is basically the same with my gateway, and the other one is the Google name server. Right, so we have that one set up. Now, of course, we will probably need to restart again the networking service and the resolve conf service. Put the interface up again, because it's probably down. And once it's up, we can check the IP address, just to make sure that everything is fine. Yep, has the right IP address. And we can ping something. Let's ping Marvel. Well, there you go, pings are going, so our interface is done. Alright. Well, like I said, unfortunately I have to change my gateway every time I connect, so I have to remember about that. So let's do right now sudo systemctl restart sshd, just to check if our sudo command works. Well, as you can see, it works. We don't need to put on the password, because if you didn't add this little line to sudoers like we did in the previous thing, then you would have to put the password here. Well, fortunately now you don't need to. I think it's pretty handy. Okay, let us see what we're gonna do next. So we have our updates done, sudoers are done. Well, I think it's good time maybe to create some public private key pair. So you will need to actually use the password anymore. You're just gonna log into your server using your public private key pair. So let's do that. Well, you have to open your command prompt. You have to navigate to your username, and at your username you need to, well, create this .ssh folder. So I already have it, as you can see. I entered my .ssh folder, and the same, you have to do the same on your server. Of course, you have to also create a .ssh folder on your server. So after you do that, we're gonna create the key pairs, and then we're gonna throw the key up to our server. So okay, so let's generate a public private key pair, which is ssh dash keygen then dash b 4096, which is actually the, yeah, there you go. Our key is created. You don't need to put anything there. If you want to put the password on the key, you can put the password on the key. No problem there. I just skip the password. I think creating the key is just enough. But if you want, you can of course put the password on. So this is our IDE RSA pub key that we're gonna throw here on our server, which is gonna, thanks to that, is gonna authenticate without us to using any passwords anymore. Okay, so let's do sudo nano etc. Sorry about that. I guess I cut something. Sudo nano etc sshd underscore config. So we're gonna config our SSH. Well, I'm gonna configure it afterwards because I already done it. I need to change the default port to 22 because I've changed the port already in my configuration, and I need to change this permitter root login to yes, because otherwise I won't be able to throw my throw my key here on the server. Password authentication I need to change to yes again. Don't worry about it, I'm gonna come back to this configuration and show you how to do it. We're gonna pick all the stuff that is needed in this SSH config that you should actually have configured. Okay, so it's basically the same as it was before I mangled and tangled it. Okay, so let's do a sudo systemctl restart SSH service. It's restarted. Okay. I don't remember if I have my ss.ssh folder created here on my server, to be honest. I would have to check. But I think I have one. Basically, if you want to create one, you should do the command that I'm typing right now. So make directory and this squiggly thing .ssh and chmod 700 squiggly again .ssh. So it's gonna create a .ssh folder with those read and write privileges, which was 700. That's read and write privileges for the folder. Okay, so I have it created. I got it. Probably I done it before. As you can see, it's empty because I've done the ls, so it doesn't have anything here, but it's gonna have our ID RSA pub key. So let's put it up there. From our command prompt, let's type in scp and everything as follows: $env user profile .ssh. Just remember to put this .ssh closer to user profile. I done a space here, so it has to be closer, but I'm gonna actually do it the right way in a moment. Here you have to put, of course, the IP address of your server. So that's mine. Oops, 2 squigglies. Should be one. .ssh. Authorized keys. Right. So I'm just gonna change it a little bit because I made an error here and here. Okay. Doesn't work. Why it doesn't work? Well, pretty simple. I forgot that it's PowerShell. Shouldn't be actually executed from command prompt. So there you go. Oh, there you go. Nice green. IDRSA.pub IP address authorized keys. Alright, there you go. Do you want to continue? You have to type in yes. Okay, now you have to put in your password. That's why I actually edited my SSH config, because I had no authorization and it was yes. If I left it like that, I wouldn't be able to throw my key. onto the server. So as you can see, it created the authorized keys in my .ssh folder on the server. Now we can just see what's in there. So sudo nano authorized keys. And there you go. There's our key. SSH RSA key. Right, so we have the key. We can now log in without password to our server. We can use PowerShell. We can use command prompt with PowerShell, or just command prompt, or whichever thing you want to use to log in. Later on, I'm gonna show you how to actually configure PuTTY, so you can log in with PuTTY. If you like, of course, PuTTY. People like different things to log in with. Okay, so let's go to our Sshd config. So it's sudo nano etc ssh sshd. So first thing, you need to change the port, right? That's the basic thing you need to do. I change it to this one, devilish port. There you go. Second thing, permit root login. Change it to no. Of course. No root is gonna log in through SSH to our server anymore. Alright. Let's go a little bit. Okay, password authentication. No. No password authentication. We don't need that anymore. We have the key. Okay, challenge response authentication. No. Let's leave it at that. Okay, next is gonna be use PAM. Nope. Should be like that. X11 forwarding, yes. Remember about this one. Print mod, no, yeah, that's good. At the end, you can have like two lists. Allow user list. So you can have like allow user, which is admin, which is my user, and you can have a deny user list. I have a root on my deny users list. So you can actually create those two little lists and list people that will be able to log into your server, that will be allowed to log in or not. Okay, so we saved our SSHD. Now we have to, of course, restart the service. So sudo systemctl restart SSH. There we go. So it's nicely set up. Well, I think now it's time to try and log into our server, right? I'm just gonna leave this. Yeah, there you go. Whoops. Excuse me. Okay, so we have like SSH admin. Here we have to put our IP address. Then we have to specify the port, which you picked. Mine is this, devilish port. And there you go. We are in our server. So basically now we can work from PowerShell or whatever. We don't even need to log into our server from the VirtualBox anymore. Okay, let us just close all of this. Clear our screen. There you go. A little bit of stretching. Okay, so I think next what I'm gonna do is just disposing of my additional account that I have, which was created. So let's do cd home. As you can see, I have two accounts, admin account and the other one that was created when I installed the server, we want to dispose of this one. If you have it and you're not gonna use it, I suggest you dispose of it. So I'm gonna do del user dash dash remove dash home and the name of the account. So basically with this command I'm gonna dispose of the user and all of his remains also in the home folder. And there you go, he's gone. So next, let's check what kind of ports we have open on our server, because this is, well, very important stuff. So I'm gonna do sudo ss -atpu, and there you go. I have my port on 666. I have my port open. So next to that you can see my IP, my computer's IP, and my VirtualBox IP address. I'm connected on this port. So established, and I got 2 ports listening here. Alright, so not much, because this is basically just basic setup of the server. I don't have much things installed. So if you have a lot of services installed, it's good to check what kind of services are actually going from your server to the internet and why they are actually connecting, which one of them are listening and why they are listening. Good to know that. So just remember to keep an eye on this. Alright, let's do cd etc apt.conf.d. We're gonna go to this directory, and now, as you can see, in this directory we have quite a lot of files. Those files are connected to actually upgrades. So if you remember, in the first video we have done something like unattended upgrades. So basically all of those scripts are responsible for unattended upgrades. They just do, well, different things. So I want to set up one script that is going to be upgrading my server, and it's going to be working like every time. So sudo unattended upgrades -- dry -run -debug, and there you go. As you can see, well, I have no packages to be installed. Package blacklist prompts, and no packages found. So seems like I'm good right now. So basically now this is gonna run every time I start the server or the server is restarted, and it's gonna run periodically, and it's gonna update my server. So that's one thing I forgot to mention when we were doing the actual install of unattended upgrades. It should be done in the first place. Okay, so now let's check what's in one of those, well, little scripts. So let's do sudo nano 20 off. As you can see, it's our apt. There you go. When it's gonna be done, periodic. What is gonna be upgraded, update package lists, and unattended upgrades. So you can check most of them like that, like 50 unattended upgrades, 70 debconf, and stuff like that. You can modify it as you want.